Got a chance to see most of Heretic? Let's talk about it right now. Right now. Right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional audience member. I am your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And we're going to get into what happened during my viewing of Heretic. But before we do, remember to give me a like and a subscribe if you can. Give me a thumbs up, and if you can't subscribe, please do ring that bell. Plus, we're talking about comics as well. This is my new vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood. It's number 2. And then we have number 1 here. There are 48 pages apiece. And this one's just coming in from the printer right now. I do sign them, so if you do want one, let me know. Plus, you might have heard of an author named Timothy Zahn, who created Thrawn. He is doing a new Green Hornet book with Kevin J. Anderson and Brandon Easton and Keith Kendandito and a bunch of others. So if you want one of those, we're going to be launching them on Kickstarter, and you can click on the link in the description below and it'll take you to the Kickstarter to sign up. It's not mine particularly. It's for Moonstone Books, but I am helping them market. So if you'd like to jump in on that, they are going to be signed, and there are some great, great authors on that. So, definitely check that out if you're interested. All right, so let's jump into what happened with Heretic. So, Heretic is written and directed by the 2-man team that did Quiet Place and Quiet Place 2, among others. But that's their claim to fame, is the 2 Quiet Place films. So they know how to write to a low budget, and that's what this is. This is an A24 film. I'm not sure exactly what the budget was, but it couldn't be high because it's a one-location film. So if you want to know how to do a low budget in a limited location film, this would be something for you to look at for all you budding writers out there. So it takes place, there's a few locations with them walking and riding their bike to the house, but it's like a day here and a day there. That's it. Everything else takes place in the house and a couple of rooms in the house. Now, I don't know if it's a real house. I don't know if they built any of this stuff out. I don't know. But if it is a set, which I would not doubt if any of it was a set, although there's stairs leading down into the cellar, if anything, there's just a couple of sets, and that's it. 2-3 sets. I don't know what happened at the end, so I can't tell you. But they're Mormons, and they were, I guess, invited. I guess there's like a telemarketing thing about people that want to be saved, and they go to people's houses to talk to them about the Word of God. I don't know. I'm not Mormon. I've never had had somebody call me to set up an appointment for a Mormon baptism, but I guess that's how they kind of do it. But based on the film, I don't know. But that's what kind of happens. So the guy is, you have to come inside, there's a storm, etc. If it was sunny outside, I don't think this film would ever happen. But they're like, look, we can't come in unless there's a woman in there. He's like, oh, my wife is baking a pie. You could probably smell it. And they go inside, and they have this very rich conversation with him about religion in general. And it's very interesting how the writers talk about religion, and they compare the religions to one another, and they also compare it to Monopoly. You have to see it to understand what I'm saying. But yeah, I can't really give you any spoilers because I didn't see the end. But he ends up trapping them in the house for the most part, which you can see in the trailer. That's the basic plot of the film. Tests their faith and things to that effect. So the whole thing is a cat and mouse type of film. And again, I don't know what the payoff is. So I'll tell you what happened in a second. But if you're looking for a horror movie, this is not a horror movie. This is a psychological thriller with a lot of dialogue. I mean, a lot of dialogue. So if you're looking for any kind of action or blood or anything, this is not it. If you get bored by talking heads throughout an entire film, this will probably bore you. Although obviously it's gotten very good reviews. I mean, the dialogue, though I think it's repetitive at times, I think for the most part the dialogue is good, and I think Hugh Grant has everything is hinging on him. If he doesn't deliver all of these lines to keep you engaged, and I did almost fall asleep once. If he doesn't keep you engaged in what's going on, you're out. You're zoning out. Because the girls have a harder job, I think, they have to be quietly quivering in fear and constantly showing the audience that they're thinking of ways that they can survive this. They know that their life is in danger. They just don't know how to get out of it. And really, it doesn't give them any options, So it's very interesting. So when they basically go into the basement, that is where I finally got pissed off at the guy next to me. So there was a guy next to me wearing like a onesie. And I'm not talking about a young guy. I'm talking about a 35-year-old guy wearing a onesie of Stitch. And his wife next to him was also wearing a onesie of some kind of pattern. So he had his phone out like this the entire movie. The entire movie. So as the movie went on and he got more and more bored, he just upped the gamma. And finally I'm like, so I touched him to get his attention because he wasn't right next to me. He was this thing. So I leaned over and I just tapped him. And I'm like, sir, can you please turn off your cell phone? I ain't turning off shit. This is my phone. You ain't making do shit. That's exactly how it came off. Okay? I was like, okay, whoa. I will just get security and we'll handle this. So I went, because if anybody's watching my channel continuously, you know that I don't put up with that. And yes, I will physically get into a fight if I have to. In this case, thank God I didn't. But so I went outside to get security, and it's Thursday, so my normal security friends aren't there, because security only works Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They only pay out for security 3 days a week for this AMC theater. That's it. So I went out. The only guy there was the guy behind the counter. So I went. Thank God I also went into like where the ropes are. So she follows me out, the wife, and she starts yelling at me. And now I'm up to here, man. My adrenaline is through the friggin' roof. So she goes, and what are you doing? I'm like, my husband, I'm like, she had the phone out, man. Yeah, but he wasn't getting a call, blah, blah, he wasn't talking on it. That has nothing to do with it. The light is bothering me. You're not supposed to have your phone out, period. So I start mimicking her because she's just acting so tropey. It's crazy. So anyway, then he ends up coming out. Then the manager comes out, and she handled this thing completely wrong. Completely wrong. And I am going to be complaining to AMC about this. But so normally, whenever I'm security, they'll just talk to us. They'll just say, turn the cell phone off, go in there, I'll separate you guys, and that'll be the end of it. That's not what happened here. She says to me, well, because there's yelling going on, I have to throw you both out. Really? Okay. So I said, okay. So she's like, well, stand over there. And she talks to them before she talks to me for the most part. And then she's like, I'm going to have you fill out an incident report. Okay. So now it's the incident report. I'm filling out the incident report. And she's like, you want to tell me your side? I said, does it matter? I said, I'm going to be putting a complaint in to AMC for this. Because now I've been outside for 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes. Which it turns into 20 very, very quickly. Because the cops arrive. And if you want to see my out of theater reaction, I have it on YouTube, on my shorts on YouTube, and I have it on my Instagram and my TikTok and all that stuff, where I actually show the cop cars out in front. So I'm standing there while the cops, one cop, so it started out as one cop, and he asked me what happened. I told him, and then he went over to talk to them, and he was over talking to them. My side of the story took 2 minutes. Their side of the story took 10. So he stayed over with them forever, and I keep seeing him look back at me. Then a second cop arrives. So now there's 2 of them. Big, fat, chubby fucker. Shorter than me and basically totally round. He asked me what happened, so I told him again, and then he goes over and talks to them. And again, he's over with them. Now I'm on 30 minutes. Now the movie, it's even if they didn't throw me out, it was over. The roly-poly guy comes back over to me and says, you touched him. I said, yeah. I said, I had to get his attention, so I tapped him on the arm. That's it. He said, well, you touched him, so they could press charges. I'm like, are you going to arrest me? And he goes, well, I didn't say that. I said, well, what are you talking about then? So he says, well, let me talk to them and see what they want to do. I said, go ahead. So he goes over and talks to them again. And maybe 5 minutes later, he comes back to me and he says, yeah, they're not going to press charges. And but you all have to leave. You can come back at a later time. So I haven't been ejected from that AMC. But even if I did, it wouldn't matter because, again, I'm going to file my complaint. But yeah, so that was it. So I ended up leaving. I ended up doing my out of theater reaction in front of the cop cars. And we were both thrown out. So I don't really know what they accomplished. They accomplished, instead of turning off the phone, they had to turn it into a huge battle that got us all thrown out. How did they win that? I don't understand what they accomplished by that. They're so addicted to both control and a cell phone that they cannot relinquish it from their hand. And then on top of that, they got to make sure to punish me for complaining so that we all lose. I don't understand people. I mean, I am totally baffled by this situation. They had to fight. I don't understand. I don't understand it. So anyway, I don't know if I'm going to see. What I'll probably end up doing is I think I want to see the. There's 2. Is Elevation that's comes out this week, and with I forgot the guy's name that's playing Falcon Cap. So him, and then there's the greatest Christmas pageant ever that I think I'm going to go see to, maybe it'll put me in a better mood. And whatever is there, I think I might try to walk into the end of Heretic so I can just see the end of it. I don't think I'm going to go back to see the end. I can wait until streaming for that. There's other things I want to see, and then I think Gladiator comes out next week, so whatever. I don't. It's not something I'm really, especially after seeing the first half. I tell you the truth, I really don't care. I really don't care what happens to them. It's something that I can wait for. But if you like psychological thrillers, I got to say that the acting is very, very good. I think the directing is decent, where it keeps the pace moving. I think some of the dialogue scenes are way too long. I think they could have been cut down. I think the pace could have been faster. But if you do like those kind of psychological thrillers where it's just a whole bunch of talking, then you're going to really like this. If you get bored by just a crap load of dialogue, I would stay away because it's going to probably bore you. But it depends on I think it depends on the mood you might be in too. If you're in the mood for action, I think you're going to be bored for it. if you're in the mood for a more quiet type of experience, where basically you see these two girls in hot water and you care about them, then yeah, I think that this might be good. But either way, it is well made, it is well written, and it is well acted. It's just the fact that it's a contained film is very apparent, that they're trying to keep this all very contained. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, another day of excitement in my life dealing with people with cell phones. And remember to give me a like, give me a thumbs up if you can. If you want to jump in on the Green Hornet, click the link in the description below and just sign up for a notification when we launch in about a month or so. And then on top of that, if you want to give me a like and subscribe, please do that as well. Check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, bye-bye. And I'll see you in the